the kingdom that's promised for the future, we're supposed to be bringing it into the present. And, you know, environmentalism is part of that process. You know, the city of Boise doesn't have a recycling center, so they have mobilized their church to be the recycling center. You know, they encourage people to transition from incandescent light bulbs to compact fluorescent light bulbs. You know, they're in a very scenic area there in Idaho, so they decided to go and volunteer with the forestry departments. They're activists. They're people mobilized, volunteering their time, doing their stuff. It's not just talk, it's deeds, you know.
John called me up right after, you know, it was kind of late at night. He called me up and he said, "Carol," and he was crying. He said, "Carol," he said, "we've got to do something about the poor." And he said, "If we ever start a church again, if God ever does that, I want the focus to be the poor." That didn't leave him. That's been a part of it from the beginning.
We recently opened a community center. All that is just a place to house a whole set of ministries that we have and to connect the skills and talents of people in the church with those in need in our communities. Instead of just handing out groceries, which is a good thing to do, we are involved in job training and job placement. We opened up a free medical clinic and we have a free dental clinic and a whole set of programs that are designed to assist people to help themselves.
Bottom line of what I want the Vineyard to be is the people that make a difference. Because I can't think of anything worse than being irrelevant. And if we're not engaging in the real issues, if we're only concerned about saving people's souls, we are irrelevant.
I was a teenager, I was a musician, I grew up outside the church. Had an idea of what I thought church was about, and really wasn't what I was about. So I walked into this room of, you know, kids that looked just like me, kids from all different kind of walks of life, and not just your church kids. And I walked into a worship setting and struck by the presence of God. You know, I discovered this church that was for people like me, and a church that, you know, didn't just talk about God, but they believed God was alive and active, and that was very attractive to me. And I still can't get out. I'm stuck.
You know, the one thing I love about the Vineyard is it's incredibly transparent. Like the people you get, I mean, who you are is what you get. I knew that if they when they were looking at me and talking to me, they were interested in my story. They were interested in who I was and what I did and what I thought and what I felt and what experience I had of God. I have people who love me in the Vineyard and who welcome me with open arms. And it's a place where I feel like as an immigrant, I've come home.
I just think that in our lives, everybody needs to be doing life with someone. It's pretty common to find that people aren't really connected with their family, and so they're really looking for a community of people to do life with. And so, for example, we have a life group system in our church, and that's where people come together. That's where you're going to find support. That's where you're going to find encouragement. That's where you're going to find help. That's where you can be real and transparent with people.
So we went out in the lobby of the church, and we noticed a guy just kind of hanging around where we put all the pamphlets and stuff like that. And we asked him, you know, "Can I help you with anything?" And he said, "No, I'm just kind of looking around. Do you mind if I look around?" So we said, "Yeah, go ahead." So we started looking around. About 10 minutes later, he came back and he just kind of hung around the information booth with us. And we said, you know, "Well, hey, I'm Charlie. You know, what's your story?" And he's like, "Well, I lost everything." And he said, "I just got out of prison." And he said, "The guards told me that, you know, when you get out to come to the Vineyard because it's a safe place and they'll take care of you." And I was just honored and humbled to be in a church that has that kind of reputation.
My dream is that we'll be able to preserve the essence of the DNA of who we are, but that as each generation comes up, they will feel the same freedom that we have and that we're trying to help our church planters have to innovate.
I think we'll always be in flux. I think we'll always be in change because I think the Holy Spirit is doing something new in every generation.
You know, I just think Vineyard has some amazing opportunities that are opening up in terms of engaging the culture.
I think the Vineyard is going to become a very much more culturally and racially diverse group.
That in one sense we could be a church of our town.
I would love to have a movement that really impacted people who were traditionally outside the reach of the church. The table is big, and you're welcome.
My dream for the Vineyards is to have a lot of churches all over the United States and around the world that are characterized by authentic love of Jesus, where Jesus is really central and where they really love one another, and where they take that love out to the world to just be a people that really do make a difference.